Why can't we just laugh a little more? And why this is so important. This is part 3 of my interview with conservative comedian Michael Joyner. Enjoy. Yeah, so I can tell by your post in the background that you probably voted for Hillary. Am I right?
Right. I drink cyanide first.
Yeah, I was wondering for you because this was my first real election that I was a part of. 2012, I didn't really vote, I don't think. 2008, I voted when I was in college, and that was the first year of Obama, but I didn't do any follow-up at all. I voted, this is actually a true story. Me and I think it was 8 friends in the quad, we all voted Republican. I think it was McCain that year. And all of us got our voting ballots sent back saying that we wrote down our social security number wrong. But that's neither here nor there, but that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
So that, and then I traveled just to university, 2012, I was still at university. So I was kind of in a bubble too. Obviously I voted Romney, but whatever. I wasn't really following politics. This was the first time I followed it. And I was still just basically college, which is a leftist political nightmare. But for you, you've traveled the world. You've in the United States. You've seen every individual town, been all over the place. Did you see this coming where someone like Trump was going to win? Because I didn't see it coming.
My son, who's in the Navy, who's the smartest guy I know, said, "Don't worry, he'll win." He kept saying, "I'll tell you this, Ben. Two elections ago, when he was just talking about it, I was on the Trump train. I told my wife, they had him on Fox News. Everybody thought it was a joke. And now let's just talk to Trump. What would he do?" And when he said what he would do, I said to my wife, I went into the kitchen, I said, "That's what we need." And I said, "Let me tell you something. They will call that radical, but if you go back to what made the nation great, it's simply conservatives. It simply is, and he exposed, and I believe God used him, he exposed the rhinos, people who we never thought were on our side. That's pretty scary. McCain is one of them now. He might just still be butthurt because what Trump said at the debates. I don't know. Butthurt. But, look at all the rhino. I mean, one thing about liberals, they stick with each other. They will vote with each other no matter what. Obama could grow devil horns. They would still, they'd say it's a condition and still vote for him. Trump cannot get the doggone Republicans. I want to look at it again. Once you say that, you just gave them an in and you gave them hope. And so I'll tell you what, it ain't going to happen again. We better get it together and somehow unify, because you better believe they're going to show up at the polls this time. They're not going to sit at home smoking pot saying, Huffington Post said it's 98% Trump. So this ought to be a fun night.
Yeah, exactly.
I watch that video every time where they're crying. I fall asleep with it on.
It's fantastic. Yeah. It really is. My grandfather always said this, they're all criminals up there. Obviously I think there's a lot of good people up there doing stuff, but you're right. I mean, all you have to do, your job in essence is just to tell people what they want to hear and get reelected every year. And that's how you have job security. You're not always going to follow through with that. But and I really hope that things do move forward, because the whole thing, I had this talk with someone that was on the left, and I was talking about conservatism, and basically all that's happened in the past 50, literally since Reagan, was the Democrat will get in and they'll enact new policies and shift you further and further and further to basically socialism, just step by step by step. Every time a conservative has gotten back in there, it's just let's just try to not let it get any worse. Let's try not to let it get any worse. And it's just slipped so far. Trump's the first guy. It's no, we have to bang back, even though it's going to look like we're terrible people. We have to beat it back to where people actually have a chance. We're not locked in these brackets of success and depending on the government leaning towards single payer healthcare. So that's why I think it's so important for this guy finally to, and you're right, the Republicans have got to get on board. Let us knock it back a little bit further to free enterprise capitalism, please, because it's just every time, we never get it back. So
look, just give us your vote and we'll work on it after. And here's one more thing I wanted to touch on. Just one little thing I want to say, Ben. You're way too young to remember when Kennedy was assassinated. But when Kennedy was assassinated, the whole nation unified and was in tears. If Trump got assassinated, it would not happen. If Obama had gotten assassinated, let's be honest, it wouldn't quite happen. We need to unify again. Maybe we won't agree on everything, but we are the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say it, but liberalism is much more the problem. They think they're not, but they're the ones resist Their whole mantra is resist. They got to start giving in and consider that maybe conservatives have some good ideas. Do you not want to be kept safe? Do you not want a good economy? He's not taking away any women's rights. I don't know where they're marching, what they're marching about, okay? He's not taking any gay rights, even though I'm traditional marriage. He's not taking away none of that stuff. He wants to keep us safe. He wants to make our armies stronger. And so I don't get, where they're coming from. But we need to unify or we're in big trouble. We have an enemy that will chop off everyone's head in this entire nation. They're watching and they're hoping we never unify. And they're going to strike if we don't eventually.
Yeah, no, I agree. It really is. It's sad and frustrating to see people so divisive. And like you said, it's breaking down those stereotypes with you and your friends when you were talking about in LA. It's like, no, we're just human beings and treating each other as human beings, not shouting, marching in the street to destroy anyone that thinks differently than you, like putting this PC Gestapo out there to stop any opposing ideas. You need ideas on both sides to really, because I know conservatism can get rigid, so you have to like be able to be a little flexible. You need liberals and conservatives to work together to create the best possible society. But you're right, it's just been kind of sliding harder and harder, and we've got to have that unification. I do have a specific question for you as a guy that's been in both sides of the industry for a while. Let's say, like, best case scenario, 2020 goes to Trump. 2024, is there any conservative actor, comedian out there right now that would be a good candidate then, or someone that should get into politics? Any actor that should get into politics? Is it like Senate race, governor, president, whatever?
Any actor, comedian? You know what?
Guys.
You're talking about me? I would. You know what? How about Kid Rock?
I heard he was close.
I don't know if it's a joke or not. I mean, I see more stuff that looks like he could really do it.
I think he backed out.
But here's what I would think. I would love to see a black conservative. So that, here's the thing. A lot of black folks still have a perception because of what they've heard about the racism their forefathers and mothers went through or whatever. But it's a wrong perception, but it's still a perception that it's going to be very hard to knock out without a black person speaking. We have Ben Carson, of course, but he's not up there high enough.
Larry Edler,
like Al Sharpton will just use the Uncle Tom mantra.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Get old. But I think if we can get a person in there, I like Steve Harvey sometimes. Mm-hmm. So that would be if we can get an African American Trump. Boy, we would need to unify. We both agree on one thing. For the most part, I know if I ever do comedy at an all-black church, an all-black group, I know I can mention the gospel, and they're all for me. I don't even have to ask how many Christians. I can just start talking about Jesus, and they're cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, African Americans are cool with Jesus, and I believe at the core, like you do, it's a spiritual problem. So if whites and blacks could unify in politics, we're going to kick the devil's butt. We're going to get back. But if we don't figure out a way to destroy those wrong perceptions in the black community, and they're completely backwards and off. Nobody's out to get you, man. We love you. I'll tell you who's out to get you. Liberals. Okay, they're playing the games by pandering, telling you what you think you want to hear, and all kinds of stuff, and have you noticed how anti-white, how cool it is to be anti-white anymore? Hey man, I'm white. I don't like that. I'm racist. Come on, man. Let's fight fair.
Yeah, you could just look at any of the Democratic-run cities and black communities, like how well they're doing in the policies they've instituted that have not worked forever.
Detroit, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. You're right.
It was like the Baltimore riots were just absolutely crazy. But who I actually do like, and I think he might run for something at some point, is like Dean Cain, like the stuff he's talking about.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter.
I wish I could see I'd love to see Sorbo. I'd like to see Hercules get to run for something small or something. That'd be pretty fun too. But anyway, for those of you that might have just been tuning in, tell us again about Make America Laugh Again and how they can get in contact with that or get information on the tour or whatever.
Yeah, I finally I've been trying to come up with an angle that could be not political but could say something that'll help us unify. And of course, everybody knows Make America Great Again. That's Trump's mantra. So I came up with Make America Laugh Again. I own MALA comedytour.com. But you can find out about any of that at michaeljoyner.com. you ever want to go. I'm going to try to work a 2018 tour. I'm going to get some other comics. It's not really going to be political. It will be a bit politically incorrect. So if you're a pure Blake,
watch yourself.
might get your feelings hurt. But you know what? I know how to make fun of myself. I know how to make fun of Trump. As a matter of fact, the other day I was thinking of tweeting something about how, oh, sorry, that wasn't Time Magazine. That was Mad Magazine that wanted me for their cover. I can make fun of my own guy, okay? And I will if I find something. But for the most part, I just want to get us all laughing together because it's the one thing I think we can do together. And when you've laughed with someone, it's hard to hate them, at least for that moment. So I'll try to throw in a little food for thought at the end of the concert. And so that's my thing. Make America Laugh Again comedy tour. I'll have a couple other comics on the bill. And I hope to make that happen in 2018. MichaelJoyner.com has all the info.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. And for those of you who want to follow Michael Joyner, please go to @ActorComic on the Twitter. You can follow him there. He posts a lot of good controversial stuff for you to enjoy. All right, man. Thank you so much. All right, if you like this video and others like it, please consider becoming a premium member to The Rebel. That way you'll have first access to Pure Hollywood and the entire Rebel lineup.